Hey y'all, it's September the 18th, 2018. Thank you for joining me real quick. Um, I'm in the process of editing and sourcing different footages to put together a video. It's probably going to be like 10 minutes long or something like that. And it might take a few days. There's a video I was talking about in which Sheriff Israel tells a couple different stories. David Hogg tells a couple different stories. Animations tell a couple different stories. And it's just, the thing is about Parkland is we're supposed to digest all of the stories like they're true. And meanwhile, they're completely contradictory to themselves. Alright, so I'm going to make a video about it to show you, and you already seen most of what I'm talking about. You've already seen it by the by. You've come across it already, but I'm going to crystallize it, like I said, in about 10-minute fashion. And I gotta let you know, man, I was just looking over some of the footage just now. And it's amazing to think that, so many people were calling for the resignation of Sheriff Scott Israel. Now, this was a while back. They were calling for his resignation for like half a year ago. Right? So whatever resignation they were hoping for, it's not going to be a speedy one. Or in fact, most people have died down with their rhetoric. Most people forgot all about Sheriff Israel. I mean, they still remember because he's so anti-gun and things. He's so political, so they remember him vaguely because of the distaste they have for him. But they've let it go. They're focused more on the dang killer and then all the mistakes that was happened. All right. And I think a lot of people out there either don't realize, or like in the case of Alex Jones Infowars, I'm not sure, are just unable to put that into the atmosphere. The idea that Israel is so, at the very least, incompetent that not only should he resign, which he should have done months and months ago, the fact that he hasn't is a failure on the part of the justice system. But not only that, people don't understand that much more should happen. In fact, I'm not sure, but perhaps that is what's going on. And I know that Sheriff Israel would have to be made to resign before getting thoroughly investigated, getting thoroughly indicted, and things of this nature. I would want to see the resignation beforehand. Alright, that way people can get down to the nitty gritty, get Sheriff Israel out of the way and start looking for all the stuff that I've already found. I'm not even on the police force or anything like that. I just have the internet and I found all this. Him making outrageous statements, impossible statements. Right? Like I said, it's not a resignation that I'm looking for. A lot of people are. No, a resignation is the very beginning of what I would want for a Sheriff Israel. Now, what I want for a Sheriff Israel, just like everybody else, is justice. He might have a price to pay, and no, I don't mean in some sort of vigilante justice kind of way. I think, we should do things very legitimate. And I don't know how long it's going to take. Here's the thing, I got to get out here, go to work, but what I wanted to express is what I'm saying right here. Although in the undergrounds of the internet and YouTube, although what I'm saying right here isn't exactly earth-shattering, because people have said it before. it seems to be quite rare. And when you consider alternative media, or what you would call the new media, or whatever you call it, what's taking over, what's the different alternative perspectives that you're not going to hear from the television and those major conglomerates. When you consider most of them, 90, 95, 99% of them seem to have no clue what we're talking about. The footage we've seen was right there, smack dab in front of our face. And, I'm going to just start yelling it, because the thing is, I'm going to yell it from a mountaintop. Thing is, I feel like they're ignoring this. They couldn't be ignoring this, because, like I said, it is so simple. We pointed it out. There's a lot of complex, different ways that you could point out all the inconsistencies. However, you could do it very simply. All right. So, since it is so simple, I do have to wonder, how come, how come me and only a handful of people who I know and seen around the internet are really, really harping on this? David Hogg can't have two completely different stories. That's unacceptable. If he did, he would have to publicly come out and apologize for it. If he did that, it would have been on YouTube. I would have heard about it. I didn't. It never happened. He never apologized. Scott Israel, he shouldn't have told a complete different story than what was on those animations that he himself provided. What, a month later, his little sheriff's department provided some sort of animation that's just off the wall, completely contradictory to what he said that very day. He can't do that because that's unacceptable, right? It's so unacceptable that he should be made to apologize for it publicly. And had he done that, I would have seen it on YouTube. Does not exist. He never did. And that is unacceptable. There's only two things of the many that are very unacceptable. I'm not gonna accept it. Alright? Anyways, I'll holler at y'all. Like I said, the video is coming. It might take a couple of days because I'm not very quick with that sort of stuff. I'll holler at y'all. And I appreciate y'all, every last one of y'all. I'll holler at y'all September the 18th, 2018.